धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर काकोली घोष दस्तीदार।
Mr. Chairman, sir, I rise to participate in the discussion on the global climate change. At the onset, I do so with a very heavy heart because Mother Earth is in danger. The Earth that was formed millions of years ago, possibly through the Big Bang or conglomeration of molecules not yet decided, is staring into the face of the Third World War. The Third World War, which is going to be fought shortly, maybe in our lifetime, because of shortage of water. Water for farmers used for farming, water for industry, water for livestock, water for human consumption is going to be in such shortage that countries, particularly those of the African continent and others, are going to be engaging themselves in this ravaging war. And who's going to stop it? The developed world, who were keeping quiet when enormous heat was being produced and Hiroshima and Nagasaki were burning. Nuclear fission and nuclear fusion was causing mutations, chromosomal deletions and aberrations. And the so-called developed world was watching. Enormous heat was being produced. This heat was being absorbed by Mother Nature. Mother Nature is very patient, but now we are getting it back. Mother Nature is giving it back to us when we are suffering because of the rising level of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Holes are being formed in the ozone layer. This carbon dioxide layer is engulfing the atmosphere in such a fashion that the temperature that is rising out of industry cannot escape. Radiation is being stopped. And eventually, possibly, the world will see a rise of global temperature up to 4 to 5 degrees, which is going to be very, very high. Humans possibly might not survive. We don't know whether intracellular vesicular formation is going to cause cell lysis, whether more malignant patients are going to come up, whether there are going to be chromosomal abnormalities in the paddies that we grow, in the wheat that we grow, in the livestock, whether the milk supply of the cows and buffaloes that feed the children are going to stop. So the world is in great danger. We should all work together to come to terms with this new situation. And we should all do it together in the forthcoming meetings that are coming through. We really don't know what has been happening in the previous meetings. One had been held in Geneva also. So what we should now all together do, have to bring down our lifestyle. India is a country of sages, of hermits, of great wisdom and mythology. We've always been very stringent in our methods. We've always promulgated recycling. We've always, our father of the nation, we have followed him, and we have always tried to conserve energy by recycling and using renewable resources. We should pay more attention to the wind, the water, the solar energies, and try to derive our resources from these renewable sources so that we can give some respite to this carbon dioxide that is forming in the atmosphere. The so-called developed world have been undertaking missions when required, when not required. They have been trying to develop programs for animals in the jungle when the third world didn't have enough to feed the people. So we should also talk to them regarding what they want to do. As a joke, we say that every man who crosses the streets of Manhattan every morning splashes on himself aftershave lotion worth $5. I don't think they are going to try and come away from these methods these lifestyle patterns that they have developed for so long. We have to take care of the incidents that have plagued the world in the past few years, in the decades. Look at Russia. They didn't even know how they were dealing with their nuclear fusions, nuclear fissions, and the wastage. And that is why Chernobyl had occurred. We don't even know where the waste of the Chernobyl is dug and buried, and how it is affecting the nation, the world, and us, everybody, each one of us. We should all get together and try to prevent these calamities. We've seen, West Bengal has seen Aila, in which thousands were rendered homeless, 1,000 homes were broken down, the sea coast is being washed away. We've seen tsunami, in which holidays, honeymooning couples, little children were washed away by the wrath of the nature in an instant. We have to take care of it. And I'm sure the scientists should all get together and try. And particular mention that I want to make is in West Bengal we have the Sundarbans. The Royal Bengal tigers are not available anywhere else in the world. They are a precious species. They're going to be extinct. The Sundarban Islands, there are hundreds of islands, 54 being inhabited by 45 lakhs of people. In the last Aila, some of the islands were washed away. 45 lakhs of people are going to be washed away. All the islands of Sundarbans are going to be inundated and submerged in water because of this global warming. This is a very, very serious subject. I wish to draw the attention of this august house that the world should sit up and do something very seriously. But on the other hand, we cannot cut down on our developmental projects, because India is a nation of hermits and sages and mythology. We've been following paths in which we have suffered. But the time has come when we have to feed our people. And India, the great nation, is not at the dearth of knowledge, is not at the dearth of industrious, laborious citizens. We have to take up from here and continue with our developmental process, but the infrastructure required to bring down the carbon dioxide emission will take some time. The developed world has done it, and here we are suffering. We are at the receiving end of what they are emitting. So we have to have our share of time in development. Our nation will surge forward towards development. We will develop infrastructure by which we can cut down the carbon dioxide emission. That will take time. So we cannot take the order of any other nation as far as our developmental projects are concerned. We will carry on with our projects, and those countries that have been emitting more carbon dioxide than our nation in the past decades will have to show us the path, will have to take forward this kind of a movement in which we can save the world altogether. Thank you.
Thank you. Sri M.